Hello everyone, Clack of the Geek here, and welcome to the TV discussion, the series where I talk about all kinds of different TV shows and give my thoughts on them. And this episode, it's a little bit later than I would have hoped, but that's just because of scheduling stuff and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, it's a bit different. This one is going to be in podcast format because I've got a guest. It's the return of the man, the myth himself, Mr. L Productions. How are you today?
I'm back and I'm good. How are you?
Oh, that's great to hear. You know, the original podcast that we did was really fun to do, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and this
Very
kind of
fun.
harkens back because we were talking about some of the Disney Plus shows, weren't we?
Yeah.
If you recall, because it was when WandaVision was airing. So should we like cover like the what our thoughts are on the Disney Plus shows quickly?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for that.
So we had WandaVision, which I did a review of, but I thought it was excellent. The finale was a bit disappointing, but overall, I think it was a great show. You?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was like I went into this show not knowing anything about it except it was going to be Wanda and Vision, as the title would suggest.
Yeah.
So everything was a pleasant surprise. So I really enjoyed this show. It was quite good.
Yeah, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier came, which I haven't finished.
Fair enough.
I genuinely found it so... I'm like 3 episodes in, and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I feel that. I watched it all, but
Yeah.
There's not much spoilers, but in the penultimate episode, like, it starts with this really good scene, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be an epic episode. And then, like, the latter half of the scene is just Falcon and Bucky just fixing up a ship for the rest of the episode.
Oh.
Literally, that is it. But then the final episode is pretty decent, though. It's not too bad, but I didn't like it as much as the other shows. Falcon and Winter Soldier was okay.
I'll try and give it a watch at some point. But yeah, going into Loki, I didn't quite know what to think. I was like, this could be great, it could be terrible. And I remember when we did the podcast initially, I was saying like, oh, why is Loki back again? But I think now I'm not too fussed on continuity probably because I've been watching James Bond, they always recast the actor. It's like, it's something not to get fussed on. I just wanted to judge it on whether or not is it a good show or not. So let's get into it. So, just general thoughts first. What did you think of it?
What did I think? Obviously, it goes without saying, spoilers are going to be throughout this episode.
Oh yeah, I should have said that, yeah. Thank you for saying that.
I think that this is a great show because it worked on pretty well from what happened in Endgame where Loki stole the Tesseract, because I did wonder what was going to happen with that. He can't just have not affected the timeline. I quite like this idea as well of having the TVA trying to keep this one timeline intact to try to stop it from branching off into others. And because we can tell this is going into a whole multiverse thing, it also sets up a lot of good stuff. So I think it's a pretty good show in that sense that it is allowing the Marvel Cinematic Universe to expand a lot more into multiversal territory, really.
I absolutely agree with what you said. I think, I'd probably say this is the best of the 3 Disney Plus shows we've had so far.
Agreed. Agreed, definitely.
Yeah, I thought it was so much fun. In the first episode straight away, there were so many interesting and novel ideas put forward, and I loved the way it was presented. You know, it was like this grandiose thing of like keeping the timeline intact was presented as like an office. You know, it kind of reminded me of Douglas Adams. Do you know who he is?
I do not.
He's like a famous British sci-fi writer. He wrote The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is like a very comedic sci-fi story about the end of the world. It's in that sort of vein of like sort of very quirky sci-fi, and
yeah,
it was. I thought it was really good from the first episode, which is always a good sign.
I liked how in the later episodes as well, they brought in all of these Loki variants. You had the old Loki, you had Kid Loki, and you had Alligator Loki, which was pretty funny.
That episode, I think, was it episode 5, I think? That was my favourite episode.
I think it was 5, yes.
Yeah, because it was proper just madness. And it was what I think we should have had a bit more of, I think. And
definitely, yes.
It was great stuff.
Now, the final episode, though,
It
I
leaves
have
a
mixed
lot to be
thoughts.
desired.
Yeah, because I mean, there's the one part where they first meet Kang the Conqueror, and well, we don't really know who he is unless you have like a more advanced knowledge of Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
And there's this scene where Loki and Sylvie talk to him for 11 minutes. That is a long time just to have a scene of talking to a guy.
Especially in a TV show when it's not like a film.
Yeah.
It's a TV episode is a lot shorter than a film, so it does take up a lot of the runtime.
Yeah, because when it's like a 20-minute episode, because it's like 30-minute episodes, but the credits are like 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
that's like a good half of your episode.
Just talking, yeah, it could have been done a bit better. I think, I know that they've got a season 2 coming, but the finale does leave a lot to be desired.
Yeah,
And that's
it is
really
good
the only
for setting
negative
up,
I have,
though.
though.
It's a good setup episode, but
Yeah, but I think that's really the only sort of negative stuff I have to say about the show. I think the previous 5 episodes are brilliant. So now let's talk about the characters. So obviously you've got Loki, the title character, Tom Hiddleston. I mean, Tom Hiddleston's great, isn't he? He's always great.
Yeah, he did pretty good in this. Definitely. Good acting.
He's just effortless. He's so witty, charming. He's just very comedic. It was just brilliant, I think. I mean, Loki's just a brilliant character. So.
Yeah, he really fits the role for it. More so than when he auditioned to be Thor.
Oh, I
haven't seen that.
I know that. I haven't seen that audition yet. I will need to. But yeah, he is great. I mean, it doesn't necessarily ruin his character arc. I think we'll have to wait and see where it goes. But I in terms of the continuity stuff, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, so that's Tom Hiddleston. Probably is the best thing about this series, obviously, because. Would you agree with that?
Can't disagree with it.
Moving on to the side characters, obviously you have Sylvie, who is another Loki variant from like a different sort of timeline, isn't she?
Yeah, and then she hides in various apocalyptic events to avoid detection from the TVA. It's quite good how she builds a trust with Loki throughout it. Despite then obviously having moments where they're not on the same page, but it's quite good that they try to build them together.
The dynamic is interesting. It is that sort of rivalry, which it's really good. I think they have really good chemistry with each other. There's a lot of really good back and forth with them.
It works surprisingly well that they would like each other and have this chemistry when they're the same person.
But you got to remember, Loki's a very vain character, so he's going to love himself quite literally.
Yeah, it feeds into his arrogance, definitely.
It does, yeah. And also you have other characters. You have Mobius, played by Owen Wilson, who I've always loved as Lightning McQueen in the Cars movies, and I thought he was great.
That was him?
Hey?
That was him? That was Lightning McQueen?
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
okay.
Owen Wilson.
I did not know that.
He was, yeah. I didn't know that until a few years ago, but yeah, Mobius was a really good character, I think.
Yeah, he started off more hostile towards Loki, but then as it went on, obviously he became more of an ally to Loki. Yeah. And when he got pruned in episode 4, I was like, God, did they kill him already? What?
Yeah, I was quite surprised about that too. But Owen Wilson, he's just such a great screen presence in anything that he's in.
Definitely, yeah. It was a good character as well for the show.
Oh, yeah. I think, even in the earlier episodes when he was a bit more hostile to Loki, I always got this sort of warmth was still there, if you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Owen Wilson, once again, great.
So, yeah, one bit that I found interesting was when the employees of the TVA started to realise that they were variants themselves, because it was rather, ironic that they were hunting down these variants to try and prune them, but they themselves were also variants. It was an interesting twist.
I thought, I have to agree. I thought that was really quite cool how they did that, and it's just these interesting ideas. There's so much. This series has so much creativity in it, I think.
Yeah, and there's so many surprise twists as well. Like in episode 4, where Loki finally meets the three timekeepers, and then like when I saw them, I thought, this just seems unreal. And obviously they weren't real, but it was quite a
Yeah.
surprising twist.
It was
Worked.
effective. It was really effective. I do hope that in future we need to kind of sort of level off, like sort of not having every show have a twist. You know, because obviously WandaVision did. Did Falcon Winter Soldier have like a twist?
I don't think it really did. No.
No, but
Didn't have
I
much of
mean,
a twist.
yeah, but I mean, I don't want it to every single show needs to have a twist. It can just be a simple,
Yeah.
like, you know, A to B to C to D story.
Yeah.
As long as it's good, that's all I'm really fussed about.
I think Loki's the kind of show that does benefit from a twist, but
Yeah.
like not every show needs it.
No. But I think Loki, it does work in Loki. I think it suits it, yeah. I also like a lot of the variety that you can get. So obviously you have quite a few of the episodes that are set at the TVA.
Yes, yeah, quite a few of them are. But then there's also episode 3, which was completely on that other planet where there was the apocalypse happening.
Yeah, I like that.
That was quite an interesting episode.
Yeah, and then episode 5 in, you know, the Void, wasn't it?
Yeah, Beyond the End of Time, yeah.
Yes, yeah, and there's obviously like other moments. So in episode 2 they visit them, you know, Pompeii, you know, the destruction of Pompeii, you know, Mount Vesuvius, and
yeah,
you know, just even, you know, little bits like that. It's really, you know, really a good variety. Not every episode is just in the same place all the time, and I like that.
So yeah, if all the episodes were in the TVA, it would get a bit repetitive, and it wouldn't be as like exciting to the viewers. Like, 'cause when you first see it, it's like this. It's almost awe-inspiring with its design to begin with. How there's like this massive place where everyone's working on keeping the timeline safe. But if you're there every episode, it's going to like lose its magic in a way. But if you take yourself to all these other locations, it's going to keep the watchers interested in all these locations.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, it's a really good variety, and it's always good to have that. And another thing I quickly wanted to mention is the little, you know, the Tara Strong who voices the little animated clock.
Yes, Miss Minutes.
Miss Minutes, yes. She was really good. And I love some of the animation, like that little video in episode 1. It kind of reminds me of like that 70s Hanna-Barbera, like Scooby-Doo, Flintstones kind of animation.
It felt very Disney to me, to be honest. It feels like the kind of thing I would see if I was at a Disney park in a queue for a ride. Like, you just have like a little video telling you some story.
Yeah. I thought it kind of reminded me of like a sort of Hanna-Barbera cartoon, like the Flintstones or Scooby-Doo, something like that. But
it worked. It works very well.
Oh, definitely, and it adds to that creativity. Now, a big thing I want to mention about Loki, and this might alienate you, Elle, is the sort of the Doctor Who parallels, because you haven't watched Doctor Who, have you?
I have not, no.
But this is obviously Doctor Who is the main thing on my channel. There's a hell of a lot of Doctor Who parallels in this, with the sort of time travel, obviously, with the, you know, planet hopping and going to different places. The Void, that's something in Doctor Who. The End of Time, that was literally an episode in Doctor Who. And there's a few Doctor Who alumni in here, so there's a few cast members who have appeared in Doctor Who before, and I think, yeah, this is very much what I want to see in Doctor Who going forward, because as of late, the past few seasons hasn't been too great, and I think they are going to be doing like a sort of a season-long arc in the next season, but this is the kind of quality that I want to be seeing in Doctor Who as well. Any comment on that?
There's not that much I can input here, but it sounds good.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this show has been brilliant. I think it's kind of what we have to say. But yeah, should we like sort of give our final thoughts on it now?
Yeah, I can do.
So, what would you rate it out of 10?
Ooh, okay. So out of 10, I'd probably give it a 9. It's a solid 9. Obviously, I wouldn't give it a 10 because it's not perfect. As we've discussed, the final episode has its few flaws.
Yeah, and it does leave a lot.
Overall, this was this was a really good show, especially for just 6 episodes as well.
Definitely.
Like, if you could do more episodes and put more depth into it, more time to explain things instead of cramming all the explanation into the final episode, it could work really well, and that could give it a 10 out of 10. But for now, I'm going to say 9.
I also give it a 9. You know, it was definitely... This was the one that I was least looking forward to, but it's turned out to be my favourite. I mean, don't judge a book by its cover. Ultimate case of that, because it was just... It was just something very unique, in the same vein as how WandaVision was, and I think it was better than WandaVision. It just... So much creativity, great characters, great humour, and aside from the final episode, which does leave a lot to be desired, yeah, a 9 out of 10 I'd give it too. So that's the end of this episode of TV Discussion. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Great to have you on, Mr. L.
It's been great to be back. This has been fun.
I do love doing podcasts. It reminds me of the podcast that me and Ronnie did when we were doing a Doctor Who podcast a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the memories, they're flooding right back here. Yeah, but I hope you've enjoyed it. What did you think of Loki? Have you seen it? Do you like it? Do you not? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and Mr. L's channel. He's on... How many subscribers are you on at the minute?
Oh, let me check. I think I'm on 359. Yep, 359.
Most impressive there. So go out to that. Get into 400 and get me to 300, hopefully. So yeah, like, comment, all of that stuff. Notification bell. Click that so you don't miss a thing. And this is Clack of the Geek and Mr. L signing out. Goodbye, everyone.
Ciao.